Right, so let's get back to this. Breaking news. Special counsel Jack Smith asking the judge to dismiss Trump's D.C. case. I want to bring in Congressman Darrell Issa on this. Great to have you on the program, sir. Always appreciate your insight. 4 felony charges here. This was with respect to Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election results. It resulted in what we saw at the Capitol on January 6th. He's filing a motion now to dismiss. Obviously, that we're watching a barrage of cases and what judges and prosecutors are willing to do as he is now the president-elect and in January will be inaugurated.
Well, you're exactly right. With the exception of New York, where they're never going to give up and they want to know if they could, shoot him after he's in the grave 20 years from now, if necessary. The rest are using the common sense. The Supreme Court has spoken loud and clear that his actions as president are not open to that in the past or in the future. You understand, Smith is only dismissing that which he was going to lose if he went to court with anyway.
Yeah, that's the big point, Congressman. You took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, the Supreme Court basically said to him, lose the case. I mean, you're be done with the case, dismiss the case. You're going to lose it. We've made the ruling on this. And then he tried to change it a little bit so he could sort of, I don't know, sneak it in under the door or something. Obviously, that was not going to work. So to me, is this a question of, look, the law has finally hit him, or is it the case that he has just seen definitively through what happened in the election, America has said, stop it with all this lawfare, put it to rest, we've elected our president?
You know, I think he wants to get some amount of his own credibility back by acting like he's actually following the law. But he didn't follow the law. He abused the law. This series of events over 4 years is the reason that the House of Representatives has a committee on the weaponization of government. And that committee is headed by Jim Jordan, is not going away. We're going to have to continue to dig deep into the weaponization. Even at the State Department, we're going to have to dig into it where, they're in mourning because their candidate didn't win.
Yeah.
Do you think there's enough digging into that where then these cases are done? Or should Trump be awaiting 2028 when he's no longer the sitting president for these cases to then come back to him?
Well, Trump, his attorney general, and the Congress all have a requirement, and that is over the next 4 years to end once and for all the ability of the federal or even local governments to weaponize. Not to dig deep into the Constitution, but the Constitution specifically had a clause in it that said that states and cities could not arrest members of Congress as they transited to and from New York and then Washington, D.C. Well, they put that in because they knew that that kind of misconduct could happen if Virginia didn't like the way Georgia was going to vote. That is true today. The only difference is we don't have a specific written part of the Constitution that makes it clear that the president enjoys those same things, that his official conduct, which includes when he opines on something or decides that something's wrong and says so, it doesn't open him up to civil suits. It doesn't open him up to criminal suits. We didn't do it to Joe Biden. We didn't do it to Jack Kennedy. We didn't do it in the past. They've done it now, and we're not going to let them do it after President Trump leaves office.
All right. Congressman, stay with us. We're going to come back to you in just a moment. We just want to get a little bit more from Lydia Hu on this.
Hi, everyone. Really great to be with you guys on this really big news. We're just getting this in, and we're getting reaction from, Trump's transition team as well. This is coming from Stephen Chung, who's a Trump spokesperson, and also the incoming White House communications director, who is saying, quote, the American people re-elected President Trump with an overwhelming mandate to make America great again. Today's decision by the DOJ ends the unconstitutional federal cases against President Trump. And when I read those first couple of lines, it made me really reflect on this moment and the fact that these cases would likely not be dismissed had President Trump not just won that election, the incredible victory that was, for the people that support the president, but also for himself. He very likely would have still been facing these federal cases. So what this leaves with this now, Judge Chutkan in the D.C. Circuit Court, the D.C. District Court, will now have to approve the dismissal of this case. And then we'll still have to wait to see what happens with the federal case. That's the documents case that's still unfolding. We're hearing from our colleagues over on the Fox News channel that we do expect a similar motion to be made to dismiss that case as well, which then is just the chipping away of the lawfare. And of course, then what leaves us with is the Manhattan case, this New York City case, which we're still waiting to see how Judge Merchan is going to deal with that.
How many more stays can he take? But it strikes me that the judge, with Jack Smith making the request, that I would be very surprised if the judge doesn't acquiesce. Lydia, thank you for that. Congressman, I want to come back to you because we also have found out who, well, after Gates stepped down, that Pam Bondi would be the next Attorney General pick. And Merrick Garland and the DOJ have been under such fire because of this weaponization that we were just talking about a little bit earlier. And it was really interesting to me because on MSNBC, you had one of the guests having a complete meltdown, and it was of epic proportions because of how qualified she actually is. So how does she get in there and try to clean some of this up?
Well, she's going to have an army of deputies because it's more than one person can do. She is somebody who understands how to run a large bureaucracy. She understands the law. She's worked with the federal government. She understands the various elements of DOJ that have been weaponized. And so she's going to have one after another appointments. Some of them need confirmed, some don't. And then she's going to have to root out some of the people that are, they call them career, but they're the embedded people who text back and forth, needing to have backup plans, needing to have insurance policies if Trump gets elected. She's going to have to find them. And if she can't fire them, she's going to have to move them where they can't do the harm that they've been doing.